So good morning. Welcome to this another series lecture about electrical wiring simulator or EWS. Today we're going to perform the 11th activity under the DC series in parallel circuits. Okay, so let's click this first menu and then let's browse activity number 11. So the title of today's activity will be measuring voltage. Okay, so we have to wire the circuit first and then we have to connect the voltmeter required uh, based on the requirement. Okay, so let's click the play and the normal mode. Okay, so we have a voltmeter here and then the circuit is similar to what we performed a while ago. So we have the source lamp here and then we have the PL2, PL3 and PL4 here. Okay, so but in this particular case here, we have to measure the voltage. We have to connect the voltmeter to measure the voltage across PL2. But in this particular case, I think it would be better if we connect the circuit first as what we did before in the previous activity. Okay, so let's connect first the PL1 to the 24 volts and then the output of the PL1 to the 0 volt. Okay. Okay, so now let's connect the 24 volts to the input of the PB2. Okay, out of the PB2 to the input of the PL2 and then out of the PL2 to the negative terminal. So this is just basically the same of what we did in the previous video. Okay, however, I think it would be easier for this particular case if we connect the output of the PL2 to the output of the PL1 compared to the 0 volts. Okay, so let's connect this one to the output of the PL1. Okay, so next, we have to connect the PL3 and the PL4 in parallel with the PL2. So the easiest way is to connect the input of the PL3 to the input of the PL1, the output of the PL3 to the output of the PL2, and then the input of the PL4 to the input of the PL3, output of the PL4 to the input of the to the output of the PL3. Okay, input, output, output, and then input, input, output, output. Okay, now we have to connect the voltmeter, this voltmeter here, to measure the voltage across PL2. Okay, so take note guys that when you will be using the voltmeter should always be connected in parallel with the load that you are trying to measure. So in this particular case here, since we want to measure the voltage of the PL2, we have to connect it to the terminal of the PL2. But we have to consider, since this is DC, we have to consider the polarity. Okay, for this tester, we have the polarity, the positive. So this one should be connected to the positive side, okay, of the load. And then the black should be connected to the negative side of the load. If we're going to trace this one, this input is connected to the positive of our load. And then this out here is connected to the negative. Okay, hence this one should be connected to the input and then this one should be connected to the output. Okay, so let's try. Okay, submit. Okay, passed. And then if we're going to click this one, it will perform the same operation as what we did in the previous lecture. If you click this one, all the PL2, PL3, and PL4 will be turned on. Okay, click on, release, off, click on, release, off. Okay, so see you in the next lecture.